Hello and welcome to Catalyze Music Academy. My name is Zaak Kerstetter. I'm an Ableton Certified Trainer. And for today's quick tip, I want to talk a little bit about a feature that I think often flies under the radar, which is modulation, and specifically how it relates to automation, which is very similar but slightly different. Most people watching this video, I'm assuming, have automated something before in their lives, and that's pretty straightforward. But let's check it out real quick just so we can compare the two. So if I have a clip like this, just some bass sound, and I want my filter frequency to move over time, I can go into my clip here, make sure I'm in the envelopes tab, and make sure I have my operator and then my filter frequency selected. And I can just start adding breakpoints to make that change over time, like so. And we'll see the filter move as well as the parameter right here. We also get a little pink dot here indicating that this has been automated. So two important things I'd like to note about automation. Number one is that when you set your breakpoints, they're absolute values. So this is going from about 15,000 hertz down to about 250 hertz. And that's just the values that they always are. On top of that, we're going to get this, like I said, this little pink dot here. And if I move this parameter, it's going to temporarily override that automation. So if this is playing and I manually move it with my mouse, you can see the pink dot is grayed out and my automation is also grayed out, and it is ignoring it temporarily until I hit this orange button up here at the top. This is your re-enable automation button. That's going to reset and go back to your automation. So if you change an automated parameter, it overrides it temporarily. However, if I want to switch over and I want to take a look at modulation, it's going to be a fairly similar process. I can first hit Command Delete, and that will delete my automation there. And I can switch over here to modulation. So in modulation, instead of getting a pink dotted line, we're going to get a blue line. And as I start adding breakpoints, you can edit your breakpoints the same way you can with automation. These are all percentage based. So they're not absolute values. So you can see this is 25% and this is negative 37%. And this is based off of the current position of my filter frequency. So if my filter frequency is somewhere here in the middle, you're going to see this black bar here indicating the value of my filter frequency. That's not going to move. But you're going to see the blue line move up and down, indicating that moving up and down with that modulation. Like that. And you also note that the filter frequency here, you can't see that move, but obviously you can hear it move. So the key here, besides the fact that it's just percentage based, is that I can move this around even while it's playing, and it's not going to override it. It's still going to be doing everything based off of the position that I can change while it's playing, which is really cool. So that's the big difference here, is you can change a modulation over time while it's still playing, and it's not going to override anything, whereas with automation, it temporarily overrides it. Another really cool feature that we can take a look at here is we can use both modulation and automation simultaneously. So you can see we already have this kind of moving up and down with our modulation. If I go over to my automation, I can add in some breakpoints and kind of do what we did before, where it's going to start high and then go low over time. So it's going to be slowly going down while at the same time moving up and down. And we can see both of them happening at the same time. Like that. So you can see the black bar indicating the automation moving down while the blue line indicating it move up and down. So there's a lot of really interesting creative potential here for having really kind of complex organic motion and movement within your sound. Two last things I would like to point out. Number one is that almost anything that you can automate, you can also modulate, but there are a few things that you can only modulate. For example, if you're looking at an audio clip, in the clip envelope section, the gain, transposition, all these controls here are you can only change them with modulation, and you'll notice again, it's blue and it's percentage based as opposed to being pink and absolute values. The other thing that I like to point out is if you are doing automation and modulation in the session view, everything's down here within your clip. But if I were to take this clip and copy it and paste it over to the arrangement view, we can see that our automation is going to be up in our track, which if you've ever automated anything before, you probably already know that. However, the modulation will always be down here in the clip. So you won't see it up here in this area, you'll always see it down here. But you can do both automation and modulation in both the session view and the arrange view. So that's it. Hopefully you can kind of see the potential power here. Hopefully you can see how cool this can be for doing lots of different kinds of control, especially for doing things on stage where you want to be able to turn a knob, but also still have it behave in a specific way. Modulation is great for that kind of stuff. So hopefully you enjoyed watching that. If you did, please feel free to subscribe to the channel. I come out with videos every Monday and Thursday. On top of that, feel free to check out our website, catalyzeacademy.com, for info about classes and workshops and other things that we offer. And on top of that, if you have ideas for topics you'd like to see covered in the future, feel free to leave those in the comments section below. You can also feel free to put any ideas you have for how you personally like to use modulation versus automation. Again, thanks for watching, and hopefully I'll see you again soon.